Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I clean my oven and stovetop. I've had quite a few requests lately for this video. I did show how I clean it in my Zone 2 cleaning video, but I figured it would be nice to have a separate video on cleaning the oven and stovetop so that it's easy to find on my channel. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have a self-cleaning oven and want to use that feature, you can definitely do that, and then you won't have to scrub the inside of your oven. I have one, but I don't use it very often because it takes a really long time, and my oven doesn't get too incredibly dirty because I like to keep up with it and I clean it about every 8 weeks. So first we're going to start with our oven racks. You'll definitely need to remove those if you use your self-cleaning feature. I like to soak my oven racks in my bathtub, but if you want to do that, definitely lay out an old towel before you put your oven racks in there, and that will protect your tub from any scratches. And I like to fold the edges of the towel over the oven rack, so even if it starts to move, nothing's going to get scratched, and I've never had a problem with it. Then I like to add dish soap. Dish soap works great because it's made to remove grease and everything from our dishes. So you'll just want to put a pretty good amount of dish soap in there and then run hot water and let your oven racks soak for at least a few hours. And if they're really grimy, you can soak them overnight. Now, I ended up leaving them in there and forgetting, and I had to make dinner, so I had to hurry up and scrub them and put them back in the oven, but they got clean. Now we are on to our stovetop. So I obviously have a gas range, and what I usually do in order to keep it from getting too out of hand is just do a quick wipe down after dinner. And I usually use like an all-purpose cleaner, or if it's really bad, I'll use a little bit of dish soap. If you have a ceramic top for an electric stove top, I used to have one at our old house, and I use this little scraper. It's made for scraping food out of pots and pans or dishes, and it works so well, and it's not going to scratch your ceramic top. And I always just use the cleaner that was made for it because I wanted to make sure I didn't scratch my stovetop. So that's what I did for that. Now, even if you don't regularly clean your stovetop and maybe it's, looking a little messy, don't worry, because we're going to get to that. So first we're going to clean our grates. I get asked about this all of the time. I don't like to soak them for too long. I've read and heard different things about doing that, but you can get them really clean with dish soap and either a sponge or an old toothbrush. I really like the old toothbrush because you can get in all of those little grooves and everything and get everything really clean. I also like to remove my burner covers. Now, sometimes I will soak these if they are really greasy and grimy, just with some dish soap for a little while, and that will kind of break it up. Mine aren't too bad today, so I am just going to clean those with a little dish soap and the toothbrush and sponge that I like to use for these kind of jobs. Now, sometimes food will get into the burners, and I don't think that you really want to get these soaking wet, but what I usually use is just a damp toothbrush, the same one that I used on the other things. And if it's really dirty, you can put a little dish soap on there and just scrub around that, and I have found that that works really well to get those clean. Now to clean the actual stovetop, I like to use dish soap. Dish soap is made to get the grease and grime off our dishes, and it works really well on your stovetop as well. So I usually use a sponge, or you can use a cloth and just rub the dish soap into your stovetop. You can let it sit for 15 minutes or even longer if your stovetop is really dirty, and it will get those grimy, stuck on things off in no time. Now, one important thing, if you want your stovetop to be really shiny, you're going to have to wet that sponge and kind of get that dish soap off, and then dry it with a dry cloth so that it really shines and sparkles. You don't have to spend hours or anything, just a few minutes, but this is going to get it really clean and shiny. As you can see here, it looks fabulous. And in order to keep it that way, I just wipe it down after dinner every night, and it looks great. I have been using baking soda and peroxide to make a little paste to clean my oven for years. I remember showing this at my old house as well. It works incredibly well. So I never measure, you just need some baking soda and then some peroxide, and you want it to be a paste, so you don't want to add too much peroxide. You can see the consistency here, and then you're just going to rub that into the bottom and sides of your stovetop, and you can let it sit on there for a while and do its thing so that you don't have to scrub as hard. I like to use it on the inside glass of my oven as well, because it gets greasy and grimy on there, so that really helps. Sometimes I even have to use a little bit of dish soap on that glass there, but again, that's going to really help break everything up. And the longer you let it sit, the longer it has to work, so you won't have to scrub as much. And then you're going to wet your sponge and just wipe up all of that baking soda and peroxide. You'll want to make sure you get it all, or it will dry and leave a white film on the inside of your stove. And so you can see here, it's nice and shiny and clean. You might also want to clean the drawer under your stove if you have one, because crumbs fall in there. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful.